Hey, how are you?
Good. I'm back in my office,
Love your office. I'm very jealous. I wish I was there.
Lacey Park in Pasadena. I just enjoy coming here so much and doing our podcast. I did one a couple weeks ago and I just thought, I'm going back there. It's so nice and under this tree and shady. So here I am.
Oh, it looks beautiful. I'm so jealous. It's actually a nice day here as well, but I know the temperature is much better there with no humidity.
Yeah, the humidity's not bad. It's probably about 85-ish though. It's kind of warm today, but under this tree, it's not bad. How was this weekend? How was the concert in Fayetteville?
Oh, it was so nice. So that was my first trip to Northwest Arkansas. I think I was there maybe 20 years ago for like a conference, but I don't really count that because I didn't get to experience anything. And so, yeah, we drove up from Little Rock on Friday morning and stayed until yesterday. We drove back. But yeah, it was great. We went to the AMP on Friday night and we saw Charlie Crockett and Leon Bridges, who has been one of my favorites for a long time. So it's really good. The weather was amazing. It was actually a little bit chilly. It was so nice. That venue is amazing. Like it reminds me a lot of what we have here in El Dorado at the Mad Amphitheater, just a little bit larger scale. But yeah, it was really, really cool. So yeah, we had a good time with that. And then on Saturday, we went to Crystal Bridges and spent most of our day there, and then ended up at the Momentary and then the Tower Bar above that, and then had sushi at Junto in Bentonville. So it was a really great day. I mean, Crystal Bridges is amazing. All of it, it just took my breath away. I cannot believe we have that right here in Arkansas, and it's free. Like we spent the entire day doing free things. So it was a great, great weekend. A good weekend?
I did. I had a great weekend. We had Max home. He came home for
Oh,
the weekend. He spent all Saturday night and Sunday with us and went to church with us and just enjoyed having him around. You know, he was actually born in Fayetteville. Max was born in Fayetteville, Austin. My husband went to University of Arkansas, got his master's there. So Max was born there and we lived there all through Austin getting his master's. So for 3 years, it's beautiful there. And then we
it
have a new
is.
nephew, my sister-in-law, who lives in Fayetteville. It's Fayetteville conversation. Selah. Yeah, Selah had her baby. She had little Henry Harper Hannah. He's a cutie, I tell you. I don't think I've ever seen such a beautiful baby. He was born beautiful. I'm like, usually they're a little smushed up looking, but he's just like, he
Yeah,
looks like a little,
the picture was great. And she looked phenomenal for just having a baby. I'm like, what?
I know, I
Of
know.
course.
Yes, she does. Yeah, she looks great. Yeah, we're super proud of Selah, of course, and happy for her and Trey and little baby Henry. We're so glad to have a new family member. So we've got to get back there quick so we can see him while he's still an infant, you know. So we're planning a trip. Yeah,
Oh,
we want.
yay.
Well, I want to come see you guys, our girlfriend trip, you
Yeah.
know, in
Yes,
November,
for sure.
and then make our way up to Fayetteville and see Selah and Trey and baby Henry also. So yeah,
I
that's
love
what we're
that.
gonna do.
Yay, I'm
Yeah,
excited.
me too. Me too. We did the training for Sunday school. Olivia and I did to like learn how they do it, you know, and like the steps. And this little girl, she was so funny. She was like, her dad had just talked to her about what comes first, the chicken or the egg, and she would say, so anything that came up in the Sunday school lesson, she was like, but was that before chicken or was that before was that before like the creation story? And they were
Yeah.
like, it was so funny because she's like, I'm gonna know this answer before I leave church today. What came first, the chicken or the egg? It was so funny. But
My
they got to the
gosh.
part where I don't remember which day, but it's like the third day or fourth day where the fish are in the sea. You know, God puts the fish in the sea, and they were like, and what? And so, what does that mean? What was put in the sea that day? What was created? And you know, people were saying whales and sharks, and she was like, she had this little mermaid doll that she was holding. She goes, mermaids.
Welcome to Pretty Smart 2. Today, Brandy and I are exploring the difference between joy and happiness and how choosing what truly matters can transform your life. When you feel stuck, it might not be the end. It might be the beginning. Let's talk about showing up with purpose, letting go of what's holding you back, and making space for what really matters. Today on Pretty Smart 2.
I'm Brandy Kyle, licensed cosmetologist and owner of Kyle and Company Lash and Skin Studio in El Dorado, Arkansas, as well as the spa at Rockwater in North Little Rock, Arkansas. And joining me is my bestie, Laura.
Laura Barrow, licensed esthetician and owner of Laura Barrow Aesthetics in Pasadena, California. And we are thrilled to be here today, Brandy and I, as bestie esties. Please do, other bestie esties out there in the world, please do share this podcast if you are enjoying it. And today, sure to give you a little bit of hope, in your practice and a little bit of extra joy in your life. And that's kind of what the conversation has been that Brandy and I were having earlier today. What we would like to speak with you about today is more of how sometimes as estheticians and service providers, we do go through these moments of sadness and sort of feeling a little burned out, and that feeling of I'm just a service provider. It's like Eeyore. I'm just doing this thing, and nobody's listening, and everybody just wants to come and take from me, and your cup starts to feel empty. And in those moments, it's important to find that steady, quiet, calm, and joy. And to remember that you can't always be on that dopamine high, and you can't always have just that happiness, and sort of the difference between joy and happiness is what we're going to be talking about today in our research. And yeah, we both have some stories to share. So please do like and subscribe and share with your besties. And we are so excited to get started with today's episode. So, Brandy, one thing that I was thinking about is how you're going through so many different changes right now. You have so much going on. And I'm sure that you're having moments where you're feeling like, I just want a day off. I just want to take a break and maybe go have a spa day yourself. That feeling.
Yes.
I've definitely have those occasionally myself, or I just want to take a nap.
Yeah.
So are you finding ways to cope with those feelings, or are you searching for them like the rest of us right now?
I would say probably a mix of both. So over the weekend, I did get away with my husband, just the two of us. Drove 5 hours away from El Dorado to Northwest Arkansas and just tried to escape everything. And I told my employees, please, please just give me this time. I really need it. And so I would suggest, definitely doing that if you have that luxury, getting away, and you don't have to spend a lot of money. Like I was saying earlier, Northwest Arkansas is great. They have amazing opportunities and that are free. So you don't have to spend a whole lot of money, because right now I'm like all of you. I mean, we don't have a lot of money to spend. It's not that I'm this millionaire that's, just banking and doing all of these things because I own two businesses. And I think that's a misconception, as you've felt in the past, that it's easy to look at these people that are running businesses and just assume that, oh, well, they just must have all of this disposable income and they can just go and do it. I could never do that. And so then you kind of get down on yourself because you start feeling that envy of these people. And I would say, as far as we are, like buy the tickets, do the things whenever you are having those seasons where you do have disposable income, where the money's flowing and everything's going really well. I think we bought these concert tickets, back in May when we did have, a lot of money coming in. And so do something for yourself on those months when you do have that revenue stream that's coming in and you've got that money that you can spend, and then you have something to look forward to. I think that is really important. So I mean, like, if we wouldn't have had this past weekend, it would have been pretty rough to, keep going, because right now we are all in a slow season. I mean, the economy right now is crazy. Everything is so up and down, and nobody knows what to plan for right now. So they're probably not going to be spending a whole lot of money on skincare right now. And so we have to all know that as estheticians and as business owners, that right now we're in trying times. So it is important to do the free things, to get away, to try to just turn off everything that's going on in the world right now, or everything that's going on in your world right now, which can feel very heavy. And that's what I've done. I mean, like this all kind of just happened so quickly that I didn't have time to think it all through. And so now I'm kind of learning from my mistakes as I go, as I've opened a second location and now I've got this location, and neither one are completely booked right now, which is very scary. And so it is good to unplug and kind of step away from it at least once a week, even if it's just for a few hours. If you need to just, rest and relax and watch a movie at home and just turn off the phone, turn off everything that ties you to your business.
Yeah. We've spoken before about how in these seasons and these times of slowdown, that's when you have to go, good, we're slow right now. Not, oh no, it's, oh
Yeah,
good, we're slow right now. This
exactly.
is when I can, take a couple of extra exercise classes, go to that Bible study, read that, but whatever it is that you've kind of been putting off because you don't have time, and it's hard to do that because it you do feel a sense of anxiety, or I mean, I do right now too. I feel like, oh no, I need to be doing a
Mhm.
post, and I need to go visit all the local hotels and put out my menus. And then I take a deep breath and I try to remember the past. It's like revisit history. We learn from history.
Mhm.
And in my past, when I have panicked and I have gone all over the place, yes, it has helped a little. It has brought me some people. But what has really helped is when I take care of myself and I take a deep breath and I do the things that I need to do. And you have always been, I admire how you have always been so good at remembering your home, so wherever you've lived, you've always put your photos out so quick and you have them framed, and you have family photos done, and you celebrate those joys in your life. And it is very admirable that you do that. And I have, as your friend, I have tried to copy that um, for myself, because I do the opposite, and I'll say, oh, everything's so horrible right now. And I've got to like Leanne, or the comedian, I got to take to the bed. I'm just like, I'm
Yes.
overwhelmed. I'm overwhelmed. So yeah, that is really good. And so good to remember to plan ahead, plan for the concert, plan for and like you said, and where you went for that concert, there's all these free museums to visit. I mean, you could have just
Mhm.
driven up there and gone to the concert and not even
Yeah.
thought. So it's so thoughtful, to like, I'm at this park today. It's a beautiful park in Pasadena. It's free, of course, to come here. It's a park, and I'm enjoying it. And there's things like that in all of our cities, even if it's just walking through a store that you like, and visiting a store. We lived in Georgia. Max was little. He was like three to, I guess, 6 or 5, 2 to 5, something like that. I did not have. I mean, we were always so broke. We had no money to do anything extra with. And I would tell him, okay, we're going to go to visit your toys. And I would take him to Walmart and sit him in the cart with like toys to play with. And he would play with his toys while I was doing the
I
grocery
love
shopping or
that.
whatever. And then I would go,
Yes.
let's put your toys
Yeah.
back away. And then he'd put them back on the shelf. This is so sad. This poor kid. He plays with the toys at Walmart and then puts them back. But he always had new toys.
That is one thing you talked about what you admire about me. One thing I admire about you is that you are so creative and you can turn any situation into fun. Any situation. I mean, I can remember times where we were stranded at airports, like we weren't going to have a plane for, whatever. And you just turn it into a fun situation. Well, we can't do that, but you know what we can do? We can sit here and we can plan this menu, this fall menu, or whatever it was. I mean, you could just always turn everything into an adventure. And
Oh,
so I think we're both pretty good at like taking really bad situations and flipping them around. And I can find the joy and then you can find the fun. And that's why we don't really ever feel like we have hard times, which we do. We both have been through a lot of hardships, but we just choose joy over it. But we just find the joy in whatever we're going through.
this yesterday, we went to church with our son, Max, and Olivia, and went as a family to church. And the minister, what she was talking about was joy and happiness, and reflect back on these times in your life, and you're like, wow, that was God showing me this. That was me learning this lesson, and I really do, and I feel this from you too, because I know that you're spiritual and you're Christian, that we have this commonality of that joy because it's in us. And we can go through like you said, sometimes, man, we can go through some scary situation and we can look at each other and laugh or pick up the phone and cry a little, but then, say it's going to be okay. It's going to be fine.
Mm-hmm.
We have a beautiful space to go walk in outside or go sit in the park. Or, we have these beautiful children. We have great husbands. We have things that we're grateful for. And we're not chasing after just, I don't know, going out. We do like to go out and have fun, but we know that that's not what is really fulfilling us. That's not where it all comes from. And that's what the whole sermon was about, was the happiness. And I feel like those times as estheticians, the service providers, when we are feeling so burned out and or not busy and we're panicking,
Yeah.
if we can remember what's important and go back to that and and find that quiet calm that brings us, that's where our strength is. While I was looking at LinkedIn last night, I came across a video and I thought it would be great for today's episode. I definitely needed it last night when I saw it. So here we go.
Is this jar full? And is it full now? And how about now? Is the jar full now?
Yes.
Yeah, it is. Now, I want you to recognize that this jar represents your life. Golf balls are the important things: your family, your friends, your health, and your passions. The pebbles are the other important things: your car, your job, your home. The sand is everything else. It's just the small stuff. Now, if you put the sand in the jar first, you won't have room for the pebbles or the golf balls. The same is true in life. If you spend all your energy and your time on the small stuff, you won't have time for all the really important things that matter to you. Pay attention to the things that are critical to your happiness. Take care of the golf balls first, the really important things. Set your priorities, because everything else it's just sand. Yes.
Professor, what does the beer represent?
I'm glad you asked. It goes to show that no matter how full your life may seem to be, there's always room for a couple of beers with a friend.
So yeah, I love that.
That's great. Yeah, that gives you a whole new outlook on all the little stuff that we let consume us and our days. And I just think about all the things that I take home from work with me every day, and it takes up so much time with my family. Like, why am I still worrying about this? Something that happened at 3 o'clock at work, and it's now 9 p.m. and I'm still trying to figure out how to please that person or how to come up with the money for this, or all of that stuff that we take home with us from our businesses. Yeah, it interferes with what we have. It doesn't allow time for the things that really matter. That's really good. I think I might cry. Sorry.
I know.
Yeah.
I did last night. I teared up. We talk about this all the time when it matters to us as estheticians and as friends and as women and mothers and wives, and just being in this world together. We're all in the same boat. We're all kind of in the same type of situation. And when things are meaningful to us, that's when we want to really share it with our audience And we really appreciate you all for being our audience also. This in itself has been such a miracle and blessing to me to be able to have conversation and do extra research and think about what does bring joy and bring happiness. It kind of takes the mundane out of things. And so I really appreciated that. Just to give like some tools to people. One thing that I was thinking about is, having something like this. If you have a friend that is an esthetician, starting a podcast is really fun, or doing it on your own, doing TikToks. And it's nice, you plan it out and it does break up your day and it makes you feel like you're doing more in your life than what maybe you've gotten a little bored of doing. It helps you revisit certain things. And also, I found LinkedIn to be very helpful to me. I've written a couple of articles and posted them about what we talk about. Usually it's something to do with what we've talked about. And that's been really fun, and found other estheticians that have reached out and said they really got something out of an article that I had written, or they've shared the article with other friends. And so that's something that's been very helpful. There's also things like journaling to write down your goals. And we've talked about that in the past, and vision boarding and that sort of thing. Hopefully you can find some of that very helpful. And yeah, would you like to add anything?
No, I love all of that. And yeah, I when I talk, everybody asks, so how's the podcast going? When they come to talk to me or they come to see me for an appointment. And I say, it's going great. I love it. Like, it gives me a time each week that I can sit down with my best friend and help other people. So, yeah, it's going great. I mean, I don't know what we're trying to measure. The ultimate goal was to possibly, have a financial gain from it, which will be great when we get there. But really, for me, it's not about that. Like, I don't care if we'd ever make a dollar off of it. It's helping other people, and it's a time from my busy week where I can sit down with you and catch up and also help somebody else out there that, needed it. I mean, if there would have been something like this when we first got started, I don't think we would have made all of the mistakes that we've made along the way. Now, did we learn from them? Yes. But it would have been nice to not have to go through all the hardships that we did and lose money and that sort of thing. So yeah, I enjoy it and I love it.
I agree. Yeah, it would be great. Eventually, maybe do some consulting work for some folks. Of course, we're always happy to answer questions. But
Yeah.
if you want a full consulting or a menu written or something like that, we'd love to do that as well, and be able to come into your spas and help you out, help your team out. But what this has become, just sort of organically on its own, has been to help other people, other estheticians, business owners, spa professionals, and that it has brought me a lot of joy. And I really appreciate you going on this journey with me, Brandy.
I feel the same way. Yes, this has been the funnest. I think this is one of the funnest things we've done so far. And it
Yeah,
is, we're just getting to be ourselves. Like, there's
yeah.
not any pretension behind it. It's just we get to be ourselves and we get to catch up. And I love it. And thank you for pushing me, you and Austin both, because this is totally out of my comfort zone. You two are in Hollywood and y'all are actors and y'all do this and this is y'all's life. But for me, it's very much outside of my comfort zone. But I'm so glad I did it. It has pushed me to be better. And so I appreciate that. And you two have always done that for me. For the past 15 years that I've known you guys, you always push me to be better. And I really appreciate that.
Well, you're pretty wonderful and you're very talented and you're definitely a natural at all that you do. Being on this podcast is just highlights that every time we do one. I'm just like, oh my gosh, that was so funny when Brandy did this. We always have fun with the editing and whatnot.
Yeah.
So yeah, so it's been really, really great. Well, are you ready for the tip of the week?
I am so ready.
All right. So here we go. So today's tip of the week is chase joy, not just happiness. Happiness is like the weather. It's nice when it shows up, but quick to change. Joy is the climate. It lasts even through the storms. Instead of chasing temporary highs like wins, applause, focus on what fills you up from the inside out. Meaningful work, presence, self acceptance. That's what sustains you. Just ask yourself, what in my life brings me quiet, calm, lasting joy, not just momentary excitement? Lean into that. Thank you so much
I
for
love
being
that.
here. We really appreciate all of you that are watching and listening. And we love you, as my 14-year-old would
Yes,
say.
we do.
Bye. See you next
Thank
week
you
on Pretty
guys for
Smart
being
Too.
here. See you next week. Bye.
Bye.